Hey, how you guys doing? So we're going to go over the results from the poll for Season 2, Episode 10. As a reminder, this episode was the girls kind of doing some training, and a big focus was Kasumi. She was trying to prove to the other girls that she was the president of the club, that they did a bunch of activities, and she wanted to show off. So with the results, we have Emma in 13th, I in 12th, 11th goes to Ayumu, 10th goes to Kaden, 9th goes to Yu, 8th place goes to Kanata, 7th place goes to Rina, 6th place goes to Suna, 5th goes to Shizuku, 4th goes to Mia, 3rd goes to Kasumi, 2nd goes to Shiriko, and 1st goes to Ranju. So, of course, the two big girls, I would say for this episode, maybe Ranju and, of course, Kasumi. And we can see that being reflected in the results. So this is the full results. Again, yellow is first place, and silver, bronze, and red meaning the worst in certain categories. So Ranju gets first. She's already been popular. She's been popular pretty much throughout most of the season. So that's not so much a surprise. And of course, the big main moment she wanted to take a photo of all the girls together. And she was being very bashful about that, which seems very much against the old Ranju that we had in School Festival All-Stars, but you know, whatever. I think that's kind of past at this point. But again, she does pretty well. She wins most categories. Shiriko takes second. She was with Ranju, but nothing too major significant. I guess she's the one who called out Ranju. It's like, what do you want to do? That's mostly it. But she stays near the top. And of course, Kasumi, this episode, there's a big kind of focus on her. She was struggling a lot in the polls, and somehow she still got the worst. And the 10 to 14 year olds gave her the worst, or one of the worst. So, you know, also didn't do that great. But somehow she still got third place, which is kind of interesting. So, those people weren't convinced at all. But otherwise, a lot of people gave her a lot better placings. You know, because it was her trying to be goofy, but she was also trying to assert her dominance to everyone and say, you know, I'm amazing and cool. And a lot of people seem to enjoy that part of that episode. Past that, you know, Mia, it's been a little bit since they had her moment, but she's still retaining 4th place. And then we have the rest of them. We got Shizuku in 5th, Setsunans in 6th, and Rina 7th. Rina's fallen off a little bit, but you know, these girls still are relatively popular, but if it's not their episode focus, they tend to fall back. And of course, the usual people struggling is Kaden, Emma, and I. It's been a while since Dive Diva, so yeah, they have been struggling a lot. Emma's just not been popular and still stays to be true. And then we have Yu's, you know, doing okay, but I guess she got first in one category, which was kind of interesting. As for subunits, we have Rebirth winning. It hasn't been the Rebirth episode, but we're starting to see more about the Rebirth girls. And Diver Diva's falling all the way to last. Azuna's fallen a little bit off past Azuna episode. You know, I thought people like Diver Diva more, but I don't know. Especially in terms of songs, they have wowed me the least. So maybe, you know, this is kind of how people feel about subunits. But we'll have to see more about Rebirth soon, especially when the episodes are not going to be focusing as much on those girls. Which I guess is probably the last episode at this point, because soon we gotta get that Rebirth episode. So now after this, we're going to move to the results over all the episodes. So this is each poll that I've gone through so far. So of course you can see the trends that are going on here. We got 3 more episodes, so we will eventually get the final results, which then I'll go and analyze and see overall what were people's favorite. And since we're going through a whole 13 episodes, everyone got pretty much a little bit of time in the spotlight. We can get a better idea of the average of how people felt about them without having too much of a skew, because they had their great episode early on, or they had a moment here and there. So as we can see with these trends, so Rina overall has been number 1, but she has fallen off a lot since the beginning, but not enough to make her, you know, second, but definitely a noticeable drop since the beginning. Setsuna has maintained second still. She's not insanely far off of Rina, but again, she's fallen off a little bit. And we see a lot more love for Shiri because she's averaging 3rd place overall for this season. And just frankly overall because I'm ignoring season 1 because she wasn't in there. So she has definitely been proven for people to really like her. It's interesting that she's actually averaging better than Nanju, even though Nanju has actually been a little bit more popular at times. But you know, she's still doing pretty good, Nanju being 4th place. Our girls definitely need more help. You, Karen, Emma, and I. That's just because obviously these girls have been struggling, so I don't know what more they can really do to really help these girls at this point. It's just they just seem to be the least popular. But that just seems to what the current trend is. And if you look at the subunits, it looks like Quartz overall is probably the favorite, and then Rebirth as an and a Diaper Diva. But those are just the results, and of course here are also the demographics of all the voters if you're curious to see who are these voters and where they come from. And of course, these are the people who participate in this poll and wish to be credited, so thank you so much to these guys. This again would not be possible without you guys. Thank you so much for participating in it. And if you want to be in here, we of course still got 3 more polls. And of course, shout out to YouTube members like CoolMax for supporting me. Thank you so much. And here are all the comments that I had people left on the poll if you're curious to see how people felt about that episode. So of course that episode was definitely a fun episode. Very different from the other episodes. I guess we can see girls play Pokemon Go with the Nijigaku, I guess is what they called it. You know, with the cat versions of these girls. So that was kind of interesting to see. And we got to see some other sides of some girls, you know, especially Nanju, which is nice to see. But, you know, Katsumi got in some action, so good for her. But let me know what you guys thought about that episode in the comments below. And I guess predictions for the next 3 episodes. We're almost done. And then after that, we got Superstar, so don't worry, there is still plenty more content to come. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. And I hope to catch you guys in another video soon.